Hey guys, we have just been presented with another update from Amazon KDP. This time the change is regarding an increase to printing costs, and this will affect our royalties. So this is big news. In this video, I will explain why I think it would be a big mistake to make any changes right away. Okay, if you haven't seen the update from Amazon, you can find it by logging into your KDP bookshelf, and it will be at the top in the yellow box. The statement says, printing costs will change on June 20th, 2023. You currently have books that will earn zero royalties after printing costs change. While not required, you may choose to update your list prices to avoid a change in royalties. You can update your list prices at any time individually on the pricing tab or until June 19th. You can run a one-time bulk list update on your live paperback and hardcover list prices to continue earning the same royalties after printing costs change. If you plan to make list price changes individually, download the CSV file to prioritize any books that will earn zero royalties first. This means that Amazon are increasing the printing costs, therefore meaning that your royalties will reduce unless you increase your prices. Now, this isn't great news, of course, but I don't think Amazon have taken this decision lightly. To my knowledge, they haven't increased the printing costs for at least 5 years. And since the COVID pandemic, most things have increased in price. So I do think they've been quite fair to hold off for this long. Now, let me show you a few examples of how the price changes will affect our royalties for different types of books. Okay, first up is one of my books that has hundreds of pages, and you will see how much of a problem this price increase will be. So the book is currently priced at $10.99, and that gives me a royalty of $1.84. Now, after the price increase, I will only be getting 7 cents. Which is terrible. So what would I have to raise the list price to in order to get royalties of $1.84? Will I have to raise it by $1? Nope, I'd only get 67 cents. $2? Nope. $1.27. 13. There you go. I would have to raise the list price by $3 in order to get similar royalties as I was before. I don't think my customers will appreciate that too much. And so I won't be creating any more of this type of book with hundreds of pages because it's not very cost effective now. Just to give you another example, if we take a look at one of my other normal books, which is 8.5 by 11 with 109 pages, this book is priced at $6.99 and I currently get royalties of $2.04. So to achieve the same royalty, I would need to raise my list price by $1 and then I would achieve a slightly lower royalty. So the price increase is not as bad for these type of books, but if you do have books with more pages and it is a larger trim size than 6 by 9, it is not good news. So not as bad as the book with more pages, and most of you will probably have books like this with this amount of pages or less pages. The good news is that the changes will affect everyone, including your competitors. So it shouldn't really change your sales. It may affect sales for everyone in the short term because now customers might have to pay $7.99 instead of $6.99. But when they realize that most of the books are priced the same at the higher figure, they will get used to it over time. And that's my thinking anyway. Now, this will affect you more if you are an author with many hundreds of books or even thousands. Myself, I have 1,580 books at the moment, so there will be a lot of changes for me to make. If I'm honest, around 60% of my books that I have created have never sold, so that's not too much of an issue. It's a shame that we just can't remove those books from our bookshelf altogether. Amazon do give us the option to run a one-time bulk list price change, which is good if, like me, you have a lot of books. But I am a bit concerned to do this right away. And let me explain why. So in the past, you may have heard me talk about a costly mistake I made when updating the price of one of my best-selling books. This book was one of my best-selling books, and it had been for a few years. And because I got a little bit greedy, I decided to update the price of my book in order to achieve a larger royalty. By adjusting the price of my book, or any for that matter, the book will go through a mini review process again and may be flagged for violations. After going through this process, my book was flagged for being misleading. It was for one word in particular, and that word was in my book's subtitle. When I first published the book some years earlier, this book flew through the review process. But since then, Amazon had become more strict with what's allowed and what isn't. So anyway, I pleaded my innocence and asked if there was some way to change this word, but as it was in my subtitle, they said there was no way that they could do this. The only solution was to re-upload the same book from scratch without the misleading word. However, I would lose all of my reviews and all of the traction I'd gained rising through the Amazon rankings. Because of this, my book was lost, and I also lost a nice amount of money each month. So now I am hesitant to make any changes to my books, especially my older ones. If you uploaded your books in the last year, then you probably won't have anything to worry about. But my big concern is that if I do this bulk update and a lot of my older books get flagged at the same time, will this result in account closure? I understand if it was just one book that may get flagged for misleading content. But if I've got 50 or 100 books that get flagged at the same time, it's quite possible that my account could get shut down. Because we have just over a month until these changes come into effect, my plan is to wait as long as possible while other authors go through the bulk process, and to keep an eye out for an increased number of account closures on the various Facebook groups I'm in. I don't want to put my account at risk by making any rash decisions, so I will wait and see what happens. This may be something that you want to do as well. The only saving grace is because there will be such a huge number of changes flooding Amazon at the same time, are they more likely to relax their policies? I'm not so sure. Let me know in the comments your thoughts about this price change. Another issue with the bulk price update is if you agree to let Amazon change the list price in order to keep your royalty amount the same, most of your books will then have a strange looking price. For example, a book that was priced $6.99 may then be priced at $8.17 or something like that. Not very appealing to the buyer's eye. This means that we would probably still have to go through and manually look at each one of our books after this change has been made, and more than likely change the list price to something more appealing to the eye. And that sounds like a lot of work. If you want to read all of the information from Amazon about these price changes, I will leave the link in the description below. There is a handy table that tells you about the differences for black ink, premium color ink, and hardcover books, and you can see that here. There is another huge factor to consider. You will lose more money with Amazon advertising, and let me show you why. If we take our 8.5 by 11 book with 109 pages and pop it into my break-even ACOS calculator, you can see that the break-even ACOS is 29.18%. Obviously, these figures are based before the price increase. So what happens to our break-even ACOS if we put the new figures in? So let's give it a try. Okay, I will change the list price to $7.99, and I can't remember what the royalty was. So for $7.99, the royalty would be $1.95. Okay, so there you go. That is a massive difference in your break-even ACOS. So it's gone from 29.18% to 24.41%. Now, I know the royalty after the price increase is slightly less, but would you want your book to be priced at a strange amount like $8.13? Probably not. What this means for us is that we will need to spend even less than before on our Amazon advertising in order to achieve a sale. So if you were struggling to stay break even before, you are going to be in real trouble soon. And if you choose not to update your prices and take the hit on royalties, you will have an even harder time because you're leaving yourself with less cushion. This will mean that your Amazon advertising will need to be on point from June the 20th onwards. And if you do need help, I am in the process of creating an in-depth course dedicated to mastering Amazon ads. This course will cover the basic fundamentals, my strategies, how I optimize, and a lot more advanced stuff. So it looks like this course will come at just the right time. I will be revealing updates in my Facebook group, KDP Secrets, and some sneak peeks as well, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so in a nutshell, this isn't great news for us authors, and it will no doubt reduce our monthly royalties for a while, potentially longer. Unfortunately, when you aren't fully in control of your business, you are at the mercy of whoever runs it and the decisions they make. And this is why I have been reluctant to leave my full-time job, and also why I've been keen to diversify my income by adding Etsy, YouTube, and other things in order to spread the potential risk. But at least if we do suffer, we will all suffer together. But let's see how things play out in the next few months. Until next time, take care.